And welcome back to Mastering Sales with Brent Gove. And today we're in for a treat. I actually brought in a Babe Ruth. I brought in a superstar to do this for me, Verl Workman from Workman Business Solutions. He's been at this for 25, 30 years, I think a little longer than me, but has 100 coaches. They specialize in high-performing superstars in real estate and teams. So if you want to be a high-performance superstar, you came to the right place. Or if you have a team, this is what he does. So Verl, take it away. Thrilled to have you here. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Brent. It's good to see you all, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Whoever's the host, would they just make me a co-host so that I can share my screen and I'll share a few things with you? It's a crazy world we're living in, and what we're focused on today with all of our real estate agents and teams that are high performers is skills development. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about that. So I'm going to just share my screen with you first, and then let's see. I'm going to be desktop one. Hit share. Switch to my deck. All right. So I've been thinking about what's going on in the marketplace and what's different today than it has been in the past. And when Brent talks about being a sales guy, I mean, I used to sell hot tubs at the state fair. That's where I cut my teeth. And after that, I was, we did hot tubs and satellite dishes. And so understanding that you've hit the bottom of the barrel in sales when you're selling hot tubs at the fair, and then turning that into a successful real estate career, and then a coaching company that is changing people's lives has been just my incredible journey. Most important of all the things I talk about, if I could share one thing with all of you, is that I will help you build whatever kind of business you want, so that you can have a better life. But I won't do it at the expense of your family or your faith or your friends or your fun or your fitness or food. I use those interchangeably. For me, the reason I want to make a lot of money is so I can live well. I don't want my business to be my life. I want my business to support a lifestyle. So when you hear me talk about it, and I'm sharing with you these skills and these tools and the things I'm going to talk about today, it's a pure focus on how can you really create a great life. And that's what I want more than anything for each one of you individually, is to have a great life. So if I want you to think about the last few years in business. If you've been in real estate less than 10 years, you've never been in a balanced market, because it's been a good market. And if the last 2 or 3 years has been crazy. As a matter of fact, if you look at this chart right now, people that are big planners will spend a lot of time focused on their plan. And with limited skills and limited action, they can sell a certain number of houses. A hungry rookie looks like this. They don't have a lot of skills, and they don't really know what to plan for, but they just stay busy doing all these activities that will generate income. They work open houses, they do FSBOs, expireds. They have all of these activities that generate results. It's kind of like if they do enough of things, the activities will generate some income. And then there's the top producer. The top producer is somebody like a Brent Gove. When I was on the call with you last Tuesday, and he was talking about listings and negotiation and multiple offers, it was really, really clear that he had a very, very high skill set. And when you have a high skill set, it requires fewer actions and a less significant plan to get the same result. So if you don't have skills, you need more actions. If you have higher skills, you can get the same result with less energy. And then we have our average agent. And this is where so many of the people in your organizations live right now, and they don't know what to do. They have mediocre skills. They have an average plan. They have a little bit of action, and it used to be reaction. If somebody would call, you could sell them a house because the market's been so good. And there's been this massive void, and that massive void is what I call fake work. That's the pretending of being busy without actually doing anything that moves you closer to your goals. It's the inability to live with integrity when you leave your home, meaning your family thinks you're going to actually go make some money, but you leave and you don't do anything that actually does that. You look on Facebook, or you take an online class, or you figure out who you're going to go to lunch with, but none of those activities are real action items that generate income. And so in order to change this, we have to figure out how to increase our skills and then change our activities so that we have massive action. I'm going to say that today we are in a skills-based market, and you haven't had to have the skills in the past that you need today to compete. This is the greatest opportunity we've had in the last 10 years to be able to take market share, because agents don't know what to do. And we are absolutely going after their market. Now, I don't think you should go after an individual and try and take their market. But when your market share increases, what happens to somebody else's? It goes down. So you either have to decide you want to be on the increasing market share side, or you want to be in the side where you're giving up market share. And for me, I'm hungry and I'm going to go get market share. So here's what I want you to decide. This is something I'm going to ask you to do today. Is I believe that massive action, not mediocre things, but massive action gives us massive results. So what is the single thing that you can focus on that will give you the biggest result? What one thing, what massive action can you take in your business that will put food on your table in the next 30, 60, and 90 days? Because if you're not getting that result, then the action that you're taking isn't the right action. You can't, look, you've got to where you are in this life and in this business by doing things a certain way. Well, you can't get to the next level by continuing to do things the way you've done to get it here. You have to do something big. And that's what I say is massive action creates massive results. So we went out to the market and we asked people, what do they want? So what are agents, what are team leaders, what are team members looking for? You want to recruit, you want to attract people, you have to ask them what is it they want. The number one thing they want is they want clear guidance in uncertain times. They want their tech to be streamlined. Do you have that? The answer is yes. They want to know where to cut and where to spend money. I'll give you some rules of thumb here, and we'll talk about this more in our group coaching. But when we look at lead sources, if we don't get a 6x return, we cut it. Or we ask questions. What can we do to make sure we get a 6x return? People are looking for financial intelligence. What are the benchmarks? How much should I spend on marketing? How much should I spend on accounting? How much should I spend in lead generation, advertising, or buyer's agents or listing partners? People are looking for financial intelligence. They want to know how to message to the market today. Our agents and the consumer is getting news from CNN and Fox News. And if it's not negative, they don't report it. So how can you change the way you message to the market to get people to convert? The other thing that the agents are looking for today is they want to know how to convert. There's all these people sitting on the sidelines and they're waiting for rates to drop, or they're waiting for somebody to give them some information or pricing to come down, but they're ready to buy a home, but they're not getting the right messaging to get them off the sidelines and get them re-engaged. And then we're looking for consistency and clarity. I don't know how many of you wish you had more consistency in your business and fewer peaks and valleys. It's not because the market goes up and down every month. It's because our activities go up and down every month. We go out and we market a little bit. We get some deals coming in, and then we take our foot off the gas and we go celebrate because we had a big month. We made 10 grand or 20 grand. And then we're like, oh crap, I don't have anything to eat for the next 3 months. So we start prospecting again. So we want more consistency. Your job as leaders is to create stability and security for the people you lead. And that includes your family, your teams, your real estate offices, and your organizations. And if you can do that, that's when you knock it out of the park, because people understand where your heart is and where you're coming from. When Brent asked me to come out to the Build conference and we had a conversation about what was the most important thing, he says, Verl, I want to focus on skills development. I want our people to produce. We've got to put food on the table. So how can you help them do that? And I said, I'll help them do it, but you're going to take me out of retirement to do this. And if I'm going to do it, you're going to do it with me. And so we created a program called Predictable Greatness. Now, we work with a lot of EXP's great leaders and people that do a phenomenal job. And Brent Grove's in the beginning of this. And with Brent, I said, okay, I'm going to do this. We're going to create a program. So we created a program together called P3 Coaching. And Brent's going to be on as many of these as he possibly can. We're going to run for the next 12 months on skills development to flat out help you with your productivity, your performance, and your net profit. Those are the 3 things. I want to share with you what we're going to do in the class so you understand what's happening. This starts in just a couple of weeks. We're going to do strategic planning and a business plan on steroids. I'm going to teach you how to do a 1-page business plan. So every day when you get up, you know exactly what you're going after. And I'm going to give you a tool to be able to go through and do it. Number 2, I'm going to teach you how to track and do the right things every day. I like to say that which gets measured gets done. We've created a whole platform for you to be able to do the right things and to track the right things. And when you're off track, it's real easy when you're being coached, because we can help you make course corrections. We're going to help you master the tools that you have access to with your KV core. Mastering your CRM is really important, but you got to understand what to do with the people that are in your CRM. First, you have to know the who, then you can do the what. But if you don't know how to manage them or what to do with them, just putting names in your phone doesn't make you any money. It's how do you stay at the front of the mind with the people in your database, so when they think of real estate, boom, they think of you first. We're going to get into the concept of there are no bad leads, only people who aren't ready yet. So how do we implement a lead conversion strategy for the life cycle of that client, so when they're ready, you convert? You all have thousands of leads in your databases. You've bought leads. You've done Boomtown Sync, KV Core, Follow Up Boss. You're doing Facebook ads. You all these ways of generating leads. Lead generation is a non-issue in real estate. We can generate leads at every level. What we struggle with is the lead conversion process. When I sold my last company to Homes.com, my job with the company was to teach lead conversion strategies to their business consultants. And we continue to get hired by big companies who do massive lead generation to teach their leaders how to convert. That's what I'm going to focus on in these sessions, is teaching you what we teach the leaders on how to convert. We're going to talk about, all right, session number 5. And Brent, this is kind of a fun one. It's called How to Close 86 Deals a Year Working with 50 People 1 hour a day. If you're currently not closing 86 deals a year, working with your top 50, join this class. Even if I'm just full of crap and only half of my number works, how about 44 or 43 new deals? Would that be okay? All right, that's a whole system. I'm going to give you the system. I'm going to give you the tracker. I'm going to give you the dialogue and everything you need to do it. And it's proven, it's predictable. We're going to teach you how to message to the market, money-making activities defined. We're going to teach buyer conversion and listing mastery. I'm going to turn you how to turn your sales system into an ATM. When you need more sales, you just put your card in and money comes out of it. We're going to talk about the power of AI. Brent, I haven't even shown you what we're doing with AI right now, but we're doing things internally with AI in our own engine that are like groundbreaking. Not only are we going to give you messaging to the market, I'm going to show you how to use special emotional intelligence messaging to write prompts that use emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence to get higher conversions. And I'll show you how we're doing it in that session. And then I'm going to teach you how to create leverage. And that is how to blow a massive business up and work less as you earn more money. Would it be weird if I told you that when you're making $1 million a year, you'll be working less than you are at 100,000? If you do it right and you follow the systems, greatness is predictable. People ask me, the big question we get is, who's this for? Who do you want on these calls? I'm going to tell you that if you're hungry, I want you in these calls. If I have to talk you into it, don't join the group. It's totally fine. It's all right. If you're committed to going through 12 months of coaching, I haven't done a group coaching like this for 10 years. All the coaching I do is one-on-one. I only take clients that are already over 70 or 80 million in production. And I'm going to be doing these calls personally. That was my commitment to Brent, is that I would do these calls. So I'm going to do these calls with you, and I'm going to go through all 12 months of the calls. But you have to be committed. You have to be willing to put in the work. You have to have a goal to grow by a minimum of 2 transactions a month. So do you want to increase your production? I don't care where you are, by an additional 24, because that's my guarantee. You have to be unwilling to quit. If you think quitting is an option, don't join, because I don't have the energy for that. If you want to be with me, let's go. You have to be ready, and you have to be willing to be engaged, and you have to turn on your video. There's not going to be anybody on these calls. If you don't turn your video, I'm going to take you off the call. I want to be able to see you. I want to interact with you. I want to watch you be uncomfortable, and I'm going to challenge you to do hard things. And if you do hard things, I don't know if you know this, but when you're uncomfortable and you're scared, it's almost the same emotion as excited. I'm going to help you turn scared and a little bit uncomfortable into excited and moving forward. And we're going to do great things. So everybody, I want you to get on the call. This is the landing page. If you haven't already signed up for it, take a picture with your camera real quick and just go to this. I'm going to give you some more content today and some other ideas, but I want you to have access to this so you can get involved and get on it. I'll put it up one more time before I'm done. This is my personal invitation to you to come into a 12-month program that I'm going to personally lead with Brent, and we're going to change your life, because you're never, ever going to wonder how to earn money in real estate again. This is a big deal, and I'm excited to be part of it. I know Brent is too. Okay, so we talk about business and lifestyle. I'm a big team guy, and so we talk about teams a lot. You're going to hear me talk about teams. I don't care if you want a team or don't want a team. I want you to build the business that is right for you. All team means to me is leverage. It means when I'm with my little girl, she doesn't see me on my phone. And so I've got somebody else taking those calls. It means that I only spend time doing $1,000 an hour activities, not $25 an hour activities that I can delegate. And so I want your business to create a lifestyle, not become your lifestyle. I mentioned that. I'm going to introduce a concept called the Daily Success Habits Tracker, where you get 61 points a day doing dollar productive activities. We're going to track it in our coaching platform platform that we only use with private clients. This is a brand new program we're launching just for this P3 coaching with Brent. And so you're going to be inside of a platform. There's an app with it. We're going to track your calls, conversations, appointments set, appointments met, offers written. We're going to figure out your numbers, and we're going to track what you do in 30-minute activities. We're going to eliminate fake work, and you are going to have clarity on exactly what you need to do to get to your income number. It's really cool. When we start tracking stuff like this, we also use what's called a My Perfect Week schedule, where we plan in advance what you want your week to look like. And then we track what you actually do. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I only worked 2 hours today. Now I can figure out how to move things around so I can spend more time with the people that I love, doing the things that I really want to do. I don't know. Those are big things for me. That which gets measured gets done. I want to show you some numbers. These are just some of the people that I coach and we measure. And this is their last 12 months worth of income: 9.1 million, 6.2 million, 3.6 million, 3.5 million, 3.4 million. I have pages of 7-figure income earners. Greatness is predictable. I will also tell you that which gets measured gets done. But when I tell you we're in a skills-based market, Brent, I haven't showed you these numbers before. I just went into Workbench and I said, okay, in 2019, how many dials or how many calls did we have to make to get a closing? The number was 167. In 2020, 134 calls for every closing. In 2021, it dropped to 127. So it's like dropping. It's getting easier to sell transactions. In 2022, it went right back to 2019 numbers of 165. And year to date, by the end of July, it was taking 222 calls to get the same sale. The massive action to get the same result. We can't do the same things we were doing in 2021 and 2022 if we want to have a different result. We have to do more, and we have to be better at it. And that's with our clients that have better dialogue, better systems, and better communication. What's missing is we have had this massive gap of skills development and training. You see what happens in CE classes, and Brent, you tell me if I'm wrong with this. CE classes are designed to help our agents not get sued, but no one's teaching them how to make any money. And so they're not teaching you the skills you need to be successful. They're teaching you how to, I don't want to get sued. Well, let me tell you something. None of my classes, none of my coaching session will be approved for CE credits because I don't give a frick. I care about whether or not you're going to provide for your family. I'm going to teach you how to sell and how to do it really well. And selling today is very different than it was 5 years ago. Today, selling is serving. It's really understanding what your clients want and being the best solution to provide the needs of that client. We don't talk people into buying and selling houses. The only sell we make is the one where they choose you over another agent, and everybody knows a bunch of them. And so how do we put you in a position to be the first and the only choice? My answer is it's in P3. I'm going to give it all to you. It's going to take me a year. You give me a year, I'm going to change your life. You're never going to have to worry about where your next income comes from because you're going to know how to make money in real estate, and you can build whatever organization you want to at any level because your cash flow is taken care of. And that's my commitment to you. Just a few people that we coach. This is the premier team, top 5 in the country. They came into coaching with me in 2018, doing about 106 million. In 2023, they've already done they're on target this year to do 184 million, and the market is going down. Why are they growing when other people are going down? Because the tools, the training, and the trade secrets that I'm going to share with you, we've shared with them. The difference between average and exceptional is that the exceptional are doing the work that the average are not willing to do. So are you willing? I'm just asking you, are you willing to do the work? If you are, then I want you in the group. This kind of talks to you about what they've done. They've acquired other teams. They've bought and they've grown. The most important thing about this team is that when they started with us, most of the production was the team leaders. Today, the team leaders are less than 20% of the total production of the team. So it went from being 80% to 20% because they've helped their people become more productive. That's what we're going to help them figure out and do. Anyway, they'll just tell you it was the biggest decision they ever made. This is a smaller team. This is the American Dream Realty. This is Lindsay Vaughn, who's a great person. She started a brokerage and she found out that brokers are broke. And so she wanted to figure out how to build her own team within her brokerage, went from 228 to 334. Now her game changers are she has commitments to be on the team that people sign. Everybody does the right things. They come to daily huddles, and her business is growing. And more importantly, she's more profitable today than she's ever been before, even in a changing market. How cool is that? The key, folks, happens in our second session. It's called BRT. It's how do we build relationships of trust long-term? That's the key to everything we do in real estate. And are you at the center of that relationship? People do business with people they like and people they know and people they trust. And you cannot fake it, especially when the sales cycle is sometimes 5 to 7 years in real estate. These relationships and how we communicate what we do with them, they absolutely matter. So one of the biggest keys is understanding the conversion process. And I want to talk about that. I'm going to turn off my share for just a minute. And I want to take a second and I want to ask you, what is the biggest challenge, or what is the one thing that I could help you with the most today? What's like heavy on your mind? What are you thinking about? You say, Verl, man, if you could just give me this, that would make the biggest impact on my business or my life. What's challenging you right now? Go in the chat box. I want to hear from you. I'm going to pause, which I'm not very good at. Everybody doing everything they want to do? There you go. Okay, when prospecting, what do you find to be the best return? Who do you call? Okay, that's hands down. I love that you asked that question, Shay. And then I have a question on time management. Let me address both of them. So when prospecting, the number one is we spend a lot of time and money going after strangers, and we don't have a systematic way of working our database. The highest return on your prospecting time is working the people that already know you. But it's the changing of the messaging that is the biggest impact, is the biggest thing that we need to adapt or change. We like to call people and drop by with a jar of jam, or we do, you do these things, but like nobody cares. Like if you're not doing something that separates you as an expert in real estate, you're missing the mark. You're missing the mark. So you have to do messaging that is like light years better than anybody else, and you have to be giving them things that they wouldn't have got anywhere else. So let me give you an example. We've created a series of modules we call Shift. We use a program called, I'll give you an example of a Shift module. We use this emotional intelligence to get people who are feeling frustrated to move that emotion from frustrated into excited or anticipating excitement or being able to move. So I'm frustrated because when I was in the market 6 months ago or a year ago, rates were at 3.5%. Now they're at 7.5%. So I don't think I can move forward. So in the Shift module, we do a thing called the interest rate offset program. And it's a program we've developed that my job as your realtor is to offset as much of the difference of that interest rate over the next 7 years as possible. I have a calculator, a tool, and a script that we use, and we have the social media marketing posts that we use so that we're messaging to the market with something different that changes their emotional connection to the agent. So that would be one way we do it. So I would say prospecting, the biggest return is going to be your sphere. And then the second biggest return is people that have raised their hand, meaning people that have gone into any of your lead platforms, your social media retargeting, your Boomtown Sync or Follow Up Boss, any of those high volume lead generators. Most of the agents don't follow up with the B and C leads, and there's a gold mine in there. And so they go and they try and call the A leads, the people are ready to go right now, but they don't do the B and C leads that are 30, 60, 90 days out. I will teach you. I'll teach you how to convert those and how to put them on a systematic follow-up plan so that you get people 2 years from now that came into somebody else's database that they didn't follow up with and you can convert. So that'll be the first one. Okay, good questions. Let me give you another one. Time management. Okay. All right. Are you ready, Manu? So Manu, here's my deal on time management. There is no such thing. Time management is a myth. Anybody that says they can manage time doesn't understand it. You can't speed up or slow down the passage of time. Let me just give you, just take the last 2 words of time, and that's what you have to learn how to manage. The last 2 letters is me management. That's the issue. So how do you manage yourself with that finite resource called time? And I wish I could give you the whole thing on it, but we're going to spend a whole hour on that just in time and life mastery in our coaching program. I will tell you the biggest thing is to understand what your priorities are, and think of your time as inventory. And once you lose the inventory, you can never get it back. So if you're going to trade an hour away from family, how about we just make it worth it? And if you'd be willing, so, okay, I'll give you so I have 6 children. I have 9 grandchildren. All 3 of my married kids work with me in my business. I love my life. My kids all live close. Every Sunday they're at my house for Sunday dinner. So for me, if I'm going to spend an hour away from family, when I say it has to be worth it, if you can hire that task out for $25 or $30 an hour, you have to have the personal conversation that says, What I'm saying to my family, to my kids, is they're not worth $25 an hour to me because I'm choosing to do this task instead of go home. And if you start thinking like that, you'll start to understand how to create leverage. How do we use systems and technology and human resources so that we can focus on the things that give us $1,000 an hour return on our time away from family? When I see Shay with her cute little child in the background right there, I think, okay, if you're going to be away, it dang well better be worth it. Do you agree with that? Can you give me a wave? Say hi to Big V. Oh, cute. Shay, give me a nod if you think it has to be worth it or it's better to stay home. It's got to be worth it or let's not go. Okay. I'm not going to deal with attraction because let me tell you, okay, I'll give you one attraction thing. The greatest thing you can do for attraction is be successful. There is no greater attractor than success. Nobody wants to join a bunch of people who are average. I want to be around exceptional people. Be exceptional. Let's kick butt and take names. And then when you go out there to attract, people are like, man, whatever you're having, I want that. That's how you do it. That's why Brent asked me to do this, is he wants me to help you with your production so that when you have conversations with people, they're like, dang it, that's what I want. I want that lifestyle. I want that income. I want that boat. I want to be in Puerto Rico playing golf. Like I want that. I want the whole thing for me, guys. All right. So, and Brent, I'm sorry if I'm going long, but I believe that we're all God's children and I don't think God makes mistakes. And that means that your potential is unlimited. There is nothing that, there is nobody on this planet that deserves success more than you. And if somebody else can do it, we're of divine offspring. That means we can do it as well. All we have to do is figure out what activities we need to focus on to get there. And so whatever that means to you or however you believe, I want you to know that there is unlimited potential. If you understand why you're doing it and you do it for the right reasons, you'll be blessed with the attributes and the skills you need to be able to succeed. For me, it was learning that I grew up in poverty, and my models were people that were also in poverty. And so it took me a long time to break out and realize that I needed to have a guide or a coach or somebody with me that believed in me more than I believed in myself, because I didn't have the success experience that a lot of people have had. And so who is that for you? Who is it in your life that believes in you being great and that will give you the roadmap and not hold back and help you step by step in that process?
Hey, Burl, I just want to give you a shout out. When I brought my team to EXP, my number one agent, she selling 40, 50 homes a year, tough customer. I mean, a tough cookie. I need a real estate coach. I want a coach. I just really want to really focus in there because I'm not a coach. I'm like rah, motivational inspiration, slam on the table, do it, that kind of guy. That's not a coach. And so I put Cindy Silva with Verl Workman Business Solutions with one of his coaches. It was actually his daughter. And Cindy raved about him and still does. It's been years, and her sales are way up when the market's way down. She's just still rocking because of Verl Workman and over 100 coaches. You don't get 100 coaches. You can count the companies on one hand with 100 coaches in America. So he's a big deal. Big shout out. Trust me, you keep Cindy happy. You have done something well. So we want to take questions for a minute or two before we wrap this up.
I've been reading the questions off the chat box, and I love the interaction. You can come off mute and just talk to me. Jen, you have a really big question. I don't know if I can even read all of that, let alone answer it. Pick one thing that would be most beneficial. Come off mute and just ask me. Let's just chat.
I think the problem is you get all these lead sources in, and there's different types. There's home light, cash buyers, blah, 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 blah. And so I think a lot of times I kind of get stuck in the, I don't even know what you call it, of like, okay, are we sending text? How long is this follow-up? What do we need to be sending? Do I just send cash offer stuff, or do I send other stuff? Like, what do you send? I mean, you get the leads. I can generate leads all day long, but if you're not on the phone, like after that initial phone call and, they're kind of cold now, they're just there.
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to tell you that when you have multiple lead sources, that the lead source that attracted so I'm going to say that there's before, during, and after a transaction, and we follow up differently. So whatever source brought that lead in, so if it was HomeLight or Zillow or whatever, I leave them in that platform until they convert, because there was something about that experience that attracted them. What a lot of agents make the mistake of doing is they take them out of one system and put them into another and hope that they're going to incubate and follow up for years. You got to keep them in the platform that attracted them, because that resonated with them. And then the second thing is, when you have that first conversation, is you have to learn to qualify them as an A, a B, or a C. An A is somebody you set an appointment with. A B is someone who's 30 to 90 days out. A C is 90 days or more out. And then we have different messaging based on what they are. So, and if they're 90 days or more out, we have one personal touch with them every single month until they buy or tell you to die. The key is you have to follow up with them until they file a restraining order. I want you to follow up with them forever. The next thing is, you have to understand that for every 25 leads you generate, you should add a buyer's agent. There's a formula for it, because you don't have the bandwidth to follow up with 2,000 leads. And so what happens is, you hope that the system does it for you, but that doesn't work. What works is picking up the phone, have somebody have a conversation. So for every 25 leads we generate, we add a buyer's agent. So if you're generating 100 leads a month, I need 4 buyer's agents. The other thing is, I'm big on numbers. So Jen, you'll get this with me as you go through coaching with me, but like, for every listing you get, you should close 1.5 buy-side transactions. Every listing will generate 6 to 8 leads. So if you're keeping 10 listings, I need 3 buyer's agents immediately. And I'll double your business in the next 12 months. It'll double. And you'll be like, holy crap. So understand the numbers, make sure you have the right people. And if you don't have enough people, turn off your lead sources, because you're never going to convert at a rate that's going to give you 6x. Is that clear enough?
Yeah, it's just no comment.
So what's next? So Jen, so now what do you do? So what's the next thing you would do with the information I just shared with you? What's next?
I just need to sit behind my computer or delegate and get somebody to correct the stuff we just talked about.
Okay, so if you think that your highest and best use of your time is to sit behind the computer ever, then
delegate. Okay, delegate.
Okay, I failed you as a coach, because you're way too valuable to not be face to face with people. I can tell. I don't even know you, but you have a light, and I know that if I'm with you, that there's a high level of likelihood that you're going to convert the opportunity. Is that true?
Yes.
Right. And so your highest and best use of time is being shoulder to shoulder with people. We can delegate lead conversion. You can get virtual assistants. You can get ISAs. I can have buyer's agents do the leads. All I want you to do is list and sell houses. Everything else in your life, I want you to delegate.
Okay.
Like, I don't care if you ever cook your meals for your family. I only care that you're there to eat. I don't change my own oil. I don't mow my own lawn, but I do take my kids boating a lot. Right. I want to be with them, and I don't want to do things that I don't want to do. So that's a good interaction. By the way, if you want to know what it looks like to coach with me, that would be a small sample.
Okay.
And if it doesn't make you a little bit scared, and I'm not doing it right. Brent?
I just wanted to Burl's point, when I hired my first assistant, a lot of you are thinking 40 hours a week, I don't have the money. I hired her 20 hours a week, didn't pay her a lot. It was like $1,200 a month for 20 hours a week. And they go, well, that's a lot of money. Well, compared to a full-time employee at $2,000 or $3,000 a month, it's not. And I didn't pay her much, but I gave her flexibility. Single mom, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And so my income exploded when I got someone to do all the detail work. Go ahead, Burl.
I just can't imagine not having an assistant. I mean, I have, like, if you don't have an assistant, you are one.
Yep.
And that's not like a cut. I mean, like, I call them empowered champions, because they give us the ability to do what we love. I love the people that support us and that give us the ability to do what we love. And I want to create a great life for them just as much as I do for me. I've shared you through the link for group coaching. If you really are thinking about how to build your team, can I make just an invitation to everybody? Brent, would that be okay? In September in Bonita Springs, Florida, we do an event called Leverage. It is the ultimate teams event in the country. There is nothing like it. There's a track for buyer's agents, listing agents, and and administrative assistants, and my speakers are like top in the world. Matt Warner just retired as the senior commander of SEAL Team 6. He is not a speaker. He is there to teach how do we develop high-performing leaders, and he's phenomenal. Dr. Del Toro is how to live your best life. He'll probably ride in on Harley and talk about presentation skills, and he develops some of the greatest professional speakers. Sherry Levitin is my age, my generation, is one of LinkedIn's top 10 influencers in the world. And she's going to teach us how anybody at any age group can become a massive influencer and create unbelievable. But her clients are Google and Salesforce and others. And Kirk Weisler was an Army Ranger, and he leads our team games. So you bring your whole team, we do team games, and we create unity and bring everybody together. So besides coming into coaching, I just want you to know that there's a great team event that specifically focuses on developing teams, and we'd love you to be part of it. So Brent, I'll take a breath, stop my share.
Actually, can you do the share again? Show me the picture of the beautiful palm trees and the dates. I was taking a picture and you took it.
Okay.
I love the graphics, the marketing. When you do your real estate, make sure your stuff pops. And he's going to pull it up in 1 second. He's going to back up to there. That looks great. I love that. That is.
Let me give it to you full screen. That's Bonita Springs, and this is at a cool resort. Like celebrate your team when everybody else is pulling back. People need skills development now more than ever before. And this is the place where this is not a foofy conference. We are developing your buyers agents, listing partners, and admin. There's a track for them, and they're going to be in a room with all the rock stars that we coach. Yep. And it's a pretty fun.
Invest in your people. Invest in your people. If you're a single agent, go there and hang out and bring somebody and all that. And there's the little thing and squiggly and do it. All right, Burl, you rocked it. That was so good. Everybody wave at him, give him a thumbs up, put something in the chat bar, go, thank you. And appreciate it, Burl. I'm excited to get going with you on that program next month. Everybody else, we'll see you right here, same time, same place, next Tuesday, 1:30 Pacific. I will be in Sacramento. I'll be back in Northern California. And 2:10 Pacific for Mastering Sales. Burl, thank you again. Loved it. Bye, everyone. Have an awesome day.
We'll see y'all.